Hello, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Talk with the O Brothers. My name is Nicholas Earl, and yesterday, the Super Bowl happened. The Seattle Seahawks knocked off the New England Patriots 29-13, and I was sitting there during the game, a little bit before the game, and then during the game a little bit, thinking, if I were to build an offense for football using nothing but major league players, active major league players, what would I come up with? And I came up with a decent amount here for on my own, and then I went to my group chats for a little bit of thoughts and stuff like that, and I got a couple of good answers that I saw for there that I threw in here. So for this, I have a quarterback, one running back, three wide receivers. Forgot to type in the third, which is my slot wide receiver. There we go. So I have three wide receivers, a tight end, and then all of the offensive line, two offensive tackles, two offensive guards, and a center. So let's get it started with our quarterback. Starting quarterback, Paul Skenes, Louisiana State University. This one's pretty simple. The best pitcher in baseball. I will take him behind. I'll take him under center. Part of his warm-up routine is literally throwing a football around, and he is somebody at 6'6", 260, can see over defenses, and I think is somebody who could really command the field and be a really strong quarterback, really strong arm. I feel like this was kind of an obvious answer for it. Other guys, maybe if you wanted to look at non-pitchers, Ellie De La Cruz or Mason Wynn, guys with really good arms. A few years ago, Cespedes could have been a great answer for this with the arm that he has. Soto has a really strong arm. If you want a left-handed thrower there. Different options you could have gone with. I went with Paul Skenes. I felt like he was the best possible. I thought he was the best possible option here for quarterback. Running back, Spencer Strider. This is one I got from a group chat. 6 foot, 195 pounds, but he has the build of a running back. If you've seen, obviously, the pictures of his quads are ridiculous, and I think he is somebody that you will underestimate as a running back who will hit you and just keep on going. And I think that he can make a really strong running back on this offense. So my running back here is Spencer Strider of the Atlanta Braves. Wide receiver one. This was one of the first guys I picked for this team. Pete Crow-Armstrong of the Chicago Cubs, just one of the best defensive center fielders, and I kind of wanted to go really good defensive outfielders for receivers, and I thought that's a really good way to his outfielders who can catch. There we go. That was weird. But yeah, 6 foot, one of the best defensive outfielders in baseball, Pete Crow-Armstrong. Absolute amazing glove in center field. Denzel Clark of the Athletics. He was one of those guys that had a couple really, really ridiculous catches last year, and I feel like could have some decent ups to go ahead and catch some jump balls there. 6'4", so he's got the height, and we definitely seen with his skills in the outfield to be able to catch some really difficult ones to catch. So I feel like he can be a really, really strong outside wide receiver as well. One of my favorite picks for this list is actually the next one here. It's my slot wide receiver. Give me Stephen Kwan of the Cleveland Guardians. 5'8", but I feel like he can fit in that Wes Welker type of archetype. That short wide receiver in the middle of the field that'll make the catches, that will grind it out, and type of wide receiver like that. I feel like he can really work well with the two really tall outfielders on the for our two wide receivers with Clark and Armstrong. I think Stephen Kwan will fit in great when it comes to being a slot receiver. The tight end for this team I felt was super obvious right off the rip, and I went for the super obvious one. It's Aaron Judge, 6'7", 282. Now I could have put Judge. I could have put Judge as a offensive line, but I felt like the tight end would be a better position for him because it's a mix of blocking and he is an outfielder. Now, don't ask about the World Series in Game 5 against the Dodgers where he dropped the ball, but he is an outfielder, so he has some skills of pass catching potentially there. And I think at his size, at 6'7", 282, I think he'd make an unbelievable tight end. Like a lot of comps that if you do this with basketball, it'd be LeBron James. Aaron Judge is the tight end for this offense. I think it's pretty simple there. I think at his size and his position in baseball makes it very, very easy to pick him to be the tight end on this squad. Now, the offensive line here, I have 4 relievers and a DH. Now, I could have gone with another DH with like Marcelo Ozuna, but I went with Kyle Schwarber as an offensive tackle here, 5'11", 229, so a little undersized there for a tackle, but you're not going to get 300-pound guys in the MLB. And so I feel like this is one of the best options. Marcelo Ozuna, very similar body build there. Kyle Schwarber, I feel like you would put him on the side with Aaron Judge so he can have a little bit of protection when it comes to blocking at times. But Kyle Schwarber, I felt like was somebody, he has the power, and I feel like that can translate a little bit into blocking. I put him as one of our offensive tackles. Our first offensive guard here is, I think, the heaviest player in baseball. If not this, actually, no, it's the second heaviest because the heaviest player in baseball is going to be our center. It's Felix Bautista of the Baltimore Orioles. This is just a pure, it's a big dude type of put in here. 6'8", 284 for my offensive guard. I really like this offensive line, and it's a lot of bullpen guys because those are generally the bigger guys in baseball. Are these bullpen guys? Now it looks like okay, I have 2 different measurements for the center, but yeah, 6'4", 284. Felix Bautista, put him at offensive guard, and we'll move to our center, Tony Santillan of the Cincinnati Reds. Now he is their closer, setup man, depending on Pagan as well. But I could not pass up on Tony Santillan as my center, 6'3", 285 pounds. I believe he is the heaviest player in baseball, and he is somebody that I will put on my offensive line because I feel like he is somebody who can, with that size, be able to block, especially next to Felix Bautista. I feel like that's a good fit, and especially next to my other offensive lineman here at offensive guard, which will be Carlos Estevez, just another big dude, 6'6", 277 pounds. Just I need the bigger, bulky guys up front, and that's exactly what we are getting here with Carlos Estevez of the Kansas City Royals, and he is definitely someone that I think could fit in really well here. And then our final guy here on the offensive tackle, Aroldis Chapman of the Boston Red Sox. Another one, this is just a pure size play at 6'4", 235, just big, tall, not as heavy as some of the other offensive linemen. But with that being said, someone with definitely a decent amount of size that I feel like could be a good outside offensive lineman. So our last offensive tackle here, Aroldis Chapman of the Boston Red Sox. That is my full offense. I wanted to do a little fun video for the Super Bowl and all that. So we have our full offense here. Quarterback, Paul Skenes. Running back, Spencer Strider. Wide receivers are Pete Crow-Armstrong and Denzel Clark. Slot wide receiver, Stephen Kwan. Tight end, Aaron Judge. Offensive tackle, Kyle Schwarber. Felix Bautista is our offensive guard. Tony Santillan, our center, our other offensive guard, Carlos Estevez, and our other offensive tackle, Aroldis Chapman. Let me know in the comment section down below which players you would have on your MLB NFL roster for your offense. Did I miss somebody? Did I put somebody in the wrong position? Let me know down in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys as always for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.